Hi everyone, this is the Z650C. We've had it on the stand for a number of weeks while I've been away in France, and we've done quite a lot to it. We've put the new exhaust on, we've changed the bars, we've changed the grips, we've put grab handles on, indicators, polished it all up, and we're looking actually in a very good place. We've cleaned the carbs and the engine runs dead sweetly. We've had a problem, as you'll see in the film, with the brakes. And we've had something of a technology problem this week as well, in that whilst I was filming the final works on it, the microphone on my iPhone that I use for doing close-up work, the microphone went on the iPhone. I've got a new one coming tomorrow, and the Canon camera that I use for doing my kind of movie film footage didn't like filming at night, and it was refocusing and clicking and refocusing and clicking, and it's quite annoying. So I wouldn't normally put this film up, but I've had quite a lot of interest in the bike in terms of just seeing what happens to it, and from people who have similar 650s that they're doing up themselves, and I want to put this film up for you. So please forgive the technical inadequacies displayed by myself in the film. I hope we'll get through these. I did actually do exactly this film earlier today, trying to use a GoPro, but the GoPro doesn't like me standing away this far from the camera, so it was all kind of faint and echoey, so that didn't work either. So we're back to square one. Anyway, I hope you like the film. Alas, we're not going to get to ride this, I don't think, this year, because of reasons you'll see in the film. So the next time you see it, we will be taking it for a ride, but I don't know when that's going to be. So apologies for the sound quality towards the end of the film. The rest of it should be alright, to my usual pretty grim standard, but I hope you'll bear with me. So enjoy the film, guys, and we'll speak to you at the end. Thanks. Hi everyone, we're back on this Z650 we've been working on for a couple of weeks. You may have seen, we had a little bit of a holiday in France, and I put one or two little films up of a ride down the valley in France. Just I hope you might like it. So here we are back in the workshop now. I've got this Z650 up on the stand here. I've done one or two bits to it without filming, which I'm sure stuff you've seen before, you know, polishing the cases up and that. So I've got these cases polished up at this side. I've got the front end of it now, because I have taken the exhaust off, and I've managed to locate a proper 4x4 exhaust for it with some difficulty. So here's the one side, and this is the left side, and you can see they're really quite nice. They're not perfect, but the bike could be, you know, it's almost 45 years old, so you wouldn't expect perfect pipes on a 45-year-old bike. The other one is much the same. I'm actually short of a header, so I'm hoping I can get one of those across the next couple of weeks. Once again, little dink on it there, but it looks immeasurably better than the horrible 4-into-1 that was on before. So the easiest way to change an exhaust like this is to put it together, and now I've got all the front end out, slide it under the bike, bolt it up, and bingo, you're in business. So I've got the front end out just now, because the fork legs the brakes were seized, but I think I've got those freed off yet, I'm not quite sure. But these dust boots are all nasty, and they're just all collapsed. The fork legs were a wee bit rusty, so I polished those. Likewise this side, you know, the dust shrouds were held together with bits of insulation tape, as you may or may not be able to see. So I'm going to change the dust shrouds. I'm going to polish these legs up in a manner you've seen before. They're quite corroded. I'll let you have a look at those. Getting them nice and glossy, and changing these nasty dust shrouds for some nice new ones. And we'll put all this back together and make it look a bit more like a motorcycle. So I'll just carry on popping the dust shrouds on and things just now. I'm not sure if I've got a pair, but if I haven't got them here now, I'll need to get hold of them. So yeah, we're making some decent progress on it. I've got some nice grab rails on the back now. I've got the ducktail just sitting on here just now, because the safest place, as I've said to you a million times, for anything is on the bike. You know, it can't fall off there, nothing can drop onto it. So the ducktail's sitting on there now. The tank and stuff is all sitting here. That's ready to go on. We're actually in quite a good place with it now, and if I can just get a hold of a header, we really are going to be in a good place. If anybody wants the 4-into-1 exhaust that was on here, it's very noisy, send me an email, you can have it, I don't want it. At least it might keep you going if you've got one that's gushed on yours just now, but be prepared for noise. Okay, let's get back to doing these fork legs and we'll take it from there. And here we are, the little Kawasaki with the front end out, with the fork tubes out. As you can see, the brakes are just hanging on the cables on the pipes just now, and that one's got a clamp on, the other one hasn't because I've only got one clamp. I could put a pair of mall grips on it, but I'm kind of loath to do that. You can see what we've done here. We've given this a polish up, and that's looking much more presentable than it previously did. You can see the engine sitting in the frame there, and it suffers from the very, very common nasty oil leak that comes from the tach drive on all these Kawasaki's. On men, you know, a lot of them suffer from this, and there's no need to suffer it. It's a very, very easy fix. So we're going to clean up all this nasty oily crud in the front of the engine, and we'll do something with these down pipes as well, make them more presentable with the down tubes. We'll change the seal in there. I'll show you how to do that. It's a very easy fix, and we'll make it a lot better. Okay, I've got the legs off, and as you can see I've polished them up. They really have come up nicely. They were quite tarnished before. I've got new seals in there and new dust covers on, so that's, you know, they look lovely. They can go back on the bike. When I got the brakes off, this is the caliper that was the caliper mount that was sitting there previously. That sits behind there like that, and the caliper goes over the outside thus. The brake pad sits in there, as you can see, but when I pull the pads off, you can see, I hope, see the way that's worn? It's got a step in it because it doesn't sit properly. It doesn't sit properly on the disc. This is not the correct mounting plate for this brake on that leg. And if somebody has gone to the considerable trouble and expense of buying these, of putting these calipers on, grinding them to fit, as you can see, they've all the grind marks round there. The other one's the same. They've both been ground and bodged to go onto these legs. But this is not the correct caliper for this leg. So what I have to do now is try and locate somewhere in the world an inner, or a left and a right caliper of the correct sort with the correct backplate mounting for this bike. I've managed to find a left-hand one in America, which I'm getting posted to me now, but the right-hand one I haven't managed to secure yet, but I do need to get the bike off the stand. So I'm going to pop the legs back in now, and we'll get the mudguard on, the wheel back in, and at least then I can roll the bike whilst I'm waiting for these calipers to arrive. So let's do that right now. But before we do that, we're going to put in the tach seal, and the tachometer seal sits in there. And as I pointed to you before, I think this engine, it was just covered in oily residue and filth all down the front of it, and that's what you're going to get when it leaks here, because this will end up dribbling all down here over the headers, all down the front, and all the road crud gets thrown onto it, and the front of the bike it just gets filthy. The main reason for that was this seal was in the wrong way. It had been replaced previously, but the guy that put it in fitted it the wrong way around, so it was in that way, and it needs to go in that way. And to get it out, all you do is just get a little screwdriver like this fella here, and just kind of stick it in there and give it a little lever, and it will just pop out as quickly as that. There is absolutely no reason to have to put up with a bike that bounces oil everywhere. So what you do, you pop it in there. I'll put some grease on it. You can see how well it fits already, and I'm just going to press that gently in, and then you need something about the right size just to get it home. And I'll use this little socket here, which is about the right size, and it will just, I can just ease that in there, and we'll get that fully home. I'll give a little tap in with a light hammer. Alright, tiny little 4-ounce hammer I use for these things. So I'm just going to tap that in really gently, and you can feel when it's home. And you can see that is sitting right in the bottom where it should there now. And I can pop the drive back in there, and that will be absolutely super. I'm wearing my donkey head. And that will just sit up here now in the tack, absolutely really nicely and be oil tight. Super. Okay, let's put the leg back in. Legs just go in as quickly as this left hand leg. It will just slide up here. And to make sure it's into about the correct depth, into the top yoke there. And I can just pinch up the top bolt, just to hold it there. I've got the tack drive just entered into the tachometer there, but I haven't pulled it up tight because what I want to do is spin the engine over a bit and make sure that the drives are aligned correctly. So you can see how quickly that went in. Likewise this side. And that's fully home into the top yoke, as you can see there, and I will leave a little gap there just to get there's a little rubber cap sits on there, and I'll just leave that about the right depth to get the rubber cap in. It just finishes out the appearance of it nicely. Always better, you'll find, to use the correct spanner. Or wrench as our American friends call them. When I was in America a number of years ago, I said to my dear friend Rick over there, "Can you buy me that spanner, Rick?" He goes, "What the heck is a spanner?" Because it's just not a word they use in America. And here's the front mudguard. Once again, fender, call it what you will. And that will just pop in there now, as nicely as you like. And this one is without the usual telltale scuffing on the front that tells you the bike's been chucked along the road at some point in its life. This one probably hasn't. Well, you never know when you're buying a bike that's 40, 50 years old. Its history is something of a mystery. Right, I'm just going to pop these in there and locate them. And then I'll put the little the guides in a moment. That they really soon start to look like a motorcycle again. Okay, you can see that looks a lot more like a motorcycle now. I'll just finish putting this stuff back on, and then we'll pop the wheel in, and we can get it ready to roll out. You can see we've got the mudguard on, the secured there and there. The speedo drive will just pop onto the wheel in a moment, but first I need to get the wheel lifted into the fork leg properly. Before I do that, I just want to show you something, because it's something that's so often done wrongly. These are the bottom half of the fork leg, and these will just pop round the axle at that point there. But as you can see, or can you? These are not equidistant in terms of depth there. The leading edge is deeper, it's taller, and that's got to be mounted correctly on the fork leg. So you get the leading edge there, the taller edge. We'll just lift this up and pop it in, and then simply go on there like that. And I'll just hold that for a second and secure that. You Likewise, I'll do the other side. Once again, with the leading edge, with the taller edge, that one, to the front, and you secure. That edge is closed and there's a slight gap there. I will pinch it up just to make sure it's nicely firmly pinched up, but that's how it should be, with the deeper edge there. And then I can drop it off the jack. So there we have it. Next time you see this, we'll be taking it for a ride. I don't know when it'll be, as I say, but I just know this bike is going to fly because it's such a crisp engine. It's a lovely bike, and so I look forward to seeing you when we've got it all together and ready to go. Thanks guys, speak to you soon.